My favorite memory of Grandma is when, whenever I walk into the kitchen, I see her and Grandpa just talking and laughing with each other, eating their food. And whenever I see that, it just makes me feel happy that my family, they're hanging out with each other and like having fun.
Most recent favorite memory will have to be when she was on my team for the game Thumper, and she came up with all of our moves and all of our, well, most of them, all of our sayings and what we want to do for the game, and her meow. Meow, meow, meow. That's what she would do.
Some of my favorite memories with you are, first of all, when we were younger, at the Winwood house, you always used to make homemade ice cream, which was my absolute favorite. And another one is when I would come home from school in California and you and Antonia would be watching General Hospital. I loved watching soap operas with you too.
My favorite memory of Grandma was when I was in the Head Start program, and I remember seeing Grandma working at the school. And for me, that was a very comforting thing to have her there, and I was very proud to say that my grandmother worked at my school, and that was one of my favorite things.
I have to say my favorite memory of Grandma is really growing up. Every summer she watched us as kids, we all know that. I was just waking up every morning real early, saying prayers and always singing Did You Think to Pray. She taught us real early how important it was to be a family and how important prayer is.
Her praying every morning. I'd always come into her room, and without a doubt she'd always be kneeling down on her fragile knees. Probably would be my favorite.
So I don't have a favorite memory because there's so many of them, but I have my favorite thing to do with them is just go to sleep with them. Even though I'm 16, I still do it on this bed right in between Grandpa and Grandma, and we just talk until one of them falls asleep. And we just tell each other stories, and Grandma talks about her personal life in Samoa and how she used to get all the guys, and I love it. It's really funny.
We were playing Phase 10, me, Grandma, and Grandpa, and then somehow I looked under the table, and then I saw 2 wild cards under her lap. Me and Grandpa accused her of cheating, and she tried to deny it, and we kicked her out for that round. And she got really mad.
I was little, maybe about 6 years old or 7 years old. We were all sleeping in the family room. I had peed on the bed. Grandma and everyone was sleeping, and I was so scared that one of the cousins might wake up and make fun of me. But Grandma, she kept it to herself. She cleaned me and showered me, and she also put the bed in the garage, and she cleaned it, and she got a different mattress. And in the morning, the kids were asking why I was wearing different clothes, and Grandma's like, oh, nothing. Grandma just played it off like nothing happened. And I was scared because I didn't want my siblings or my cousins making fun of me, but Grandma, she didn't say nothing.
She used to yell at us because we weren't cleaning when we used to live with them. Oh man, that was, I'm sorry, that was so funny. Like, she used to yell at us, like, she would tell us nicely first, like, you know, make sure you clean your room and do this, do that. And we're like, okay, Grandma. And then when we weren't doing it, she's like, tell us again. And we're like, okay. And then she's like, did I tell you to clean your room? And da-da-da-da. Oh man, those are the best memories of Grandma. It's so funny, so cute.
Well, as one of the grandkids, I wasn't able to be raised by Grandma like most of the other grandkids were. But it never failed where Grandma never treated us any different because we didn't live together, and we weren't in the same city or state.
Oh, one time I was sitting here on the couch, and while we were saying, I was talking with Grandma, and she's like, ooh, Cressa, you're so pretty. Kind of like me when I was a little girl. I was so young, all the boys loved me. It was really funny. She told me how she dated lots of boys, so Grandma was a player.
One time when me and Siala were little, when we went over there in the summer, we would eat her candy a lot. And then another time we were playing in the elevator at the hotel, and she was looking for us, and then she found us on the elevator and took off a shoe and slapped me and Siala right on the butt.
One of my favorite memories I always think of Grandma is how hardworking she is, and every time we have a family thing, you never see Grandma sitting down in one place. You always see her getting up, trying to do something, helping out someone, or talking to family members, or talking to her grandkids. And I think that's just how Grandma is and how much of a loving person.
My older brothers were being so annoying one night at family dinner. They were making fun of me as always, and so I started crying, and I kind of ran to the corner and was like, didn't want to be crying in front of everybody else. And so Grandma saw me, and she was like, who made you cry? And I was like, my brothers. I was like, I can't stand them. And she's like, what did they say? And I was telling her that, you know, they were calling me annoying, a little girl, you know, go. And I said, I hate them, just being the dramatic little girl I am. And she said, you don't hate them. Sometimes family hurts family, and they don't really mean it. They're just being big brothers. And I said, I was like, I don't care, just being stubborn. And she said, Nessa, you know, later on in life when people are gonna hurt you and make you cry all the time, but you can't make that take away your happiness, and you can't let that take over your day either. And she just hugged me and kissed me and said, now I'm gonna go beat up those boys. Where are they? And I said, they're upstairs. And so she went and yelled at them for me.
One of my favorite memories of Grandma is actually a recent one. I love getting text messages from Grandma because they have pretty much no punctuation or anything. It's just a really long paragraph with everything, basically one long sentence. For my birthday, Grandma sent me a text. Hi, happy birthday, son. I love you. What are you doing today? Are you working tonight? How's Chelsea and the boys? Kiss them for me. Have fun. I love you. This is Grandma. So, you know, it really means a lot that Grandma takes the time to, you know, to send those personal messages on days like that, and really says a lot, you know, about our grandparents, you know, making the effort to connect with us through, you know, using technology and everything. So it's definitely a memory of Grandma that I'll keep with me and probably always laugh about.
My favorite recent memory of Grandma has to be not this past November, but November 2013. Haley was in the hospital after surgery, and the only person who texted me or called me more than Auntie Jen and Uncle Junior was Grandma. Grandma texted Haley and I, because I stayed in the hospital with her. Grandma texted Haley and I every single day, and her text messages would sound like this, with no punctuation. It would sound like, hi girls, how are you two doing? I want to say goodnight and I love you too. I am ready to sleep. I am so tired. I will see you tomorrow. I love you two so much. Love, Grandma. And every single text was just like that. Hi Haley. Hi Lorna. What are you guys doing? Did Haley eat her breakfast? She was always worried about Haley. She texted us about 3 times a day, called us about 2 times a day. And no matter what, Haley was just so happy whenever we got those calls. Haley's face would just light up, and her next therapy session would go so much better after Grandma would talk to her.
This is a very beautiful day that Kelly and Nate married for time and all eternity. And it's not beautiful to be in a ceiling room and be in the celestial room. My granddaughter, please marry in a temple for time and all eternity. You can see how beautiful it is. And I love you all. This is Grandma Siala Aiono.
Caressa, your skirt's too short. Go put something on more modest.
Hi Amberly, I hope all is well. I miss you. Okay, love you. Bye.
Your thighs are getting so big.
Or the Akaso, you guys laugh too much, you cheeky.
Go sit down.
You guys are the worst kids I've ever seen.
Okay, I was breastfeeding on Aaliyah and she's like, and she said, where's, sorry. And she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm feeding on Aaliyah. And she said, oh, is that the thing that Chelsea uses to cover her susus? And I said, yes. And she said, oh, she's like, I don't remember. Does it hurt?
Okay, go take out the trash right now.
Hello, hi granddaughter. How are you doing? Oh, I'm just calling see what you want to do today. Oh, I was wondering if you can come take me to the store. I need to go to the store get something for this man's dinner.
Go Niners! Yeah! Argentina!
Like, hi now, like, how are you? Like, always checking up on me, make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Dana! Where's Emmett?
Hola. Huh? What's he saying?
Richard, oh, you being a good boy? Yes, Grandma, I'm being a good boy. Okay, I love you. Love you too, Grandma. I just did a conversation that happens very frequently between me and Grandma, so I think she has that conversation with everybody over the phone.
Honey, what do you want to eat? It's a whatever, Mom. Okay? It doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? What do you want to eat? I don't know. You could bake some chop suey out of something. I don't know. You never know. You never know these things. I always have to do this, do that. You never know. Okay. I love you, Grandma.
What? A grandma dancer? What would Haley do? Because Haley dances like grandma.
They're saying we dance exactly like fun.
Move, Siala.
Shake your butt like grandma.
No, I'm not gonna shake my bum. That's so weird. Yeah! Woo! I'm a dancer.
Yeah, at all the parties.
Or
or
last night when we played Thumper,
she's like, meow, meow, meow.
Grandma likes to like do a little, she a little bounce her head.
I love you, Grandma.
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 We love you, Grandma.
I miss you so much and love you.
I love you, Grandma.
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 Love you, Grandma.
I love you, Grandma.
I love you, Grandma.
I love you, Grandma.
I love you, Grandma.